couldn't keep it on the shelf. It was ridiculous. And even we weren't, a lot of places were selling it for $2 for $3 or cheap prices. We were charging almost the same price as all your other standard domestics, and we were getting it. And they didn't care what the price was. They wanted to drink PBR.
Well, part of it is a price point thing, but there is a new beer now. Well, not a new beer, but a new preference in the hipster culture, if you will. Of the beers that we've got a beer that's supplanting PBR in terms of that popularity from that same group, if you will. Narragansett, been around for 125 years. 50 years ago, Narragansett had a huge following. This actually was the official sponsor of the Red Sox back then. And now they are starting to take a lot of market share from PBR.
I would assumed it would have been Pawtucket Pat.
Shaboopy. I wet myself.
I always think of that when I hear Yuengling commercials because it's brewed in Pottsville. And every time I hear them say Pottsville, I just think of Family Guy and Pawtucket Pat for some reason.
Now, what's interesting about this is, you have these beer rating websites, right? A Beer Advocate, a well-known beer rating website. They give the brand of Narragansett a 77 out of 100 rating, which is a fair rating.
It's not
on
too
the
bad.
website.
That's a C. That's a C. That's a good C.
It's hard to go on websites like that and review your inexpensive beers or your basic beers because they are generally going to be craft beer drinkers. So the beers like that, they
take a pounding.
Oh, they just dump all over them. I tried to do that with for Lord Cheese's bachelor party when I grabbed some beer for that. I was at Costco, and Costco has their own brand of beer, and it was, oh God, what was it?
It's cheap.
$19 for a 48 pack or something like that.
God damn.
And I looked it up. I tried to find it on Beer Rate or Beer Advocate, and they just did not like it at all. And it's hard to take that seriously because they don't like anything like that.
Now, in comparison to the 77 out of 100 score that Narragansett got, PBR scored a 68 out of 100.
Okay.
And Budweiser, the king of beers, as the great Harry Carey likes to call it,
Hey,
scored a lowly 57
I'm Tor of the Cobb.
out of 100. Yes, Harry.
That's the king of beers.
Exactly. Harry Carey is Tor of the Cobb. So, Narragansett's got a resurgence going on here. And again, I think this is less about flavor, more about price point.
Have you had the beer, the Walgreens beer, Big Flats?
Walgreens has a beer?
Yeah, dude. It's virtually Genesee is what it is. But it's the Big Flats and Big Flats Light. And it's actually, for a beer, if you want to pay literally $2.99 for a 6-pack of beer, and you just get a whole flat of it, Big Flats, Walgreens, just to let you know, it's actually not that bad. It's a pretty refreshing lager. It's a simple, refreshing lager. It tastes way better than Budweiser, Coors Light, and all those other ones. And the light beer is actually pretty darn good. It's Genesee and Genesee Light is what it is. So you'll find that at Walgreens. The beer is Big Flats, folks.
What cracks me up when you're going to drink cheap...
If anybody would like to advertise with the Cranial Mission Show, I think you'll find that we tend to plug a lot of useless crap on here.
Well, we're whores for money.
We prefer you use an enema first, folks.
What cracks me up is if you're going to go cheap, I like when...
And if you're going to use an enema, do it on Chatterbait.
Oh no! Do not do that on Chatterbait. I saw a girl doing something.
I was just looking for a bad segue.
And a little something creeped out, and I was like, you know what? click off
nope,
on that shit.
Yeah, done with that girl.
Damn, dude.
What cracks me up is when you're looking at knockoffs. If you're looking at cheap brands, you know how like in the soda game, you go to the grocery store. It always cracks me up like Czech soda.
Yeah,
right?
the Winn-Dixie.
Yeah, they don't even make an effort to be original with their names. So,
no.
So for the Mountain Dew knockoff,
Mountain Mist,
Mountain Czech.
Then
you've got Dr. Czech.
Yeah.
Then you got Checkpoint Charlie.
Right. So, if you're going to be a cheap beer brand, just knock it off and just be unoriginal. To me, it's funnier to go that route. But
Sudweiser.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. Right.
Love my suds. Hey, but speaking of sodas, that's that Kazakhstanian soda company is the one who bought PBR, Schlitz, and all that stuff.
Right.
And Natty Boh was in that deal too. So that was a big freaking deal. They sold that for what? $100 million or something crazy like that.
Yeah, and now Snoop Dogg's trying to take a piece of that pie, baby, because
actually he's not trying to take a piece of that pie. They effed him over.
Well, they did. Snoop Dogg is now suing PBR over sales profits because he says he's owed part of the proceeds of the sale of both Colt 45 and apparently they had a fruit-flavored beer called Blast by Colt 45.
Yeah. Blast.
I didn't know. I'm not in that demographic. But apparently, well, I am. Well, no, I'm just going to skip that. It's rare when we choose not to offend on this show. But Snoop Dogg was apparently paid $250,000 up front. Was promised that every 10th. This is a reflection of the social media age. Was promised that every 10th mention on social media, he would be paid another $20,000. And he has not seen a lot of the profits on here, so now he's going
they
back
hosed
and
him.
suing
Dude. He
PBR.
got absolutely hosed, man.
Well.
Yeah. Sometimes the bubble bursts, folks, and you just got to do what you can do.
Well, guys, I think it's time to end the segment the way we always do at the beginning of the show, and that is with the Badass of the Week.
Badass of the week.
Badass of the week. Yeah.
That was bad. Is
Yeah.
it my turn?
It's your
It
turn.
is your turn.
Shut up.
Shut up.
Oh, son of a b, dude.
It's funny. I'm looking at the outline. I noticed that I accidentally copied the same link.
I was just reading that too.
Yeah, I've got the Snoop Dogg story as the link to this
I
instead
pushed
of
the
the
wrong
grandpa.
one. But this story. It makes me. Oh, of course, I hit the wrong one again.
Yeah.
Fudging mother fudger. So this grandfather here. Where's it at?
It's going to be on your email because he copied the wrong
Oh.
link.
Mother.
I'll get it for you. I'll get it. I got you.
Anyways, this granddad decided to drive through his own garage as part of his bucket list. I thought that was pretty awesome as far as I'm concerned.
Why is driving through your own garage part of your bucket list?
I don't know. Everybody's got one little weird thing. I went to a Britney Spears concert.
That was on your bucket list?
No, I just somebody just happened to give me a ticket, and I was like, "Yeah, I'll go." Fuck it.
I'm guilty of that
wait,
myself.
Wait a minute. Wait a second. You're not going with your hot girlfriend and her
Wait.
little sister?
Wait, hold on. Hold on. Take a step back here. Both of you have been to Britney Spears concerts?
No. I have not been to Britney Spears. I went to Monica and 98 Degrees.
That's nothing wrong with that. Monica's hot.
Yeah,
Yeah, Monica is hot.
I went
Monica's
because
hot.
back in high school, my girlfriend's neighbor worked for
98
Johnson &
Degrees.
Johnson, and they were the main sponsor. And he had an entire row of floor seats.
He should have known better. He should have worked with Johnson and Kucherov.
You know, I should have, when I asked you to say it again, I should have said, "Hit me, baby, one more time."
Oh, I'd be a slave for that. Anyways, Walter Thomas is 91 years old, and the guy, was saying, when you're 91 years old, you had a hell of a run. That's a pretty good age. He's having a pretty good age. So this happened in June 4 in Woodstock, Illinois. This guy's his first and last item on his bucket list was crashing a car through a garage door. And he said, "Damned if you know what? It's that time. It's that time again." So the Wet Offs donated their garage. So people actually donated it to him so he could do it on purpose. So this was a fully staged event. And the Weed Offs, which are, I guess, apparently his neighbors, they were planning to demolish their structure and replace it with a larger garage anyway. It was a freestanding garage.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so the grandfather told me a long time he wanted to back a car through a garage, and so he ended up doing it, man. He was very excited. He always wondered if the garage door would pop off or the frame would come down with it. Like, it's just one of those things that you have in your head. Like, I want to shoot somebody. No,
Is that on your bucket list?
I'm just kidding.
I'm glad I keep my firearm
Now,
not with me around you,
I'm
apparently.
I'm kidding.
I'm
just saying.
I
Everybody
have
has,
two questions about this event.
shoot.
You would think, as an old guy, that you would have, typically you look at old guy vehicles. They're typically like a Buick or, something that's pretty hardy, like a tank type of vehicle,
yeah.
right? So I'm assuming it was a vehicle that wouldn't sustain a lot of damage by going through the garage door, right? My second question is, if you're going to really make this event pop, then are you going to wear like an Evel Knievel style jumpsuit while driving through the garage?
I think you should. Dukes of Hazzard. Nice. What have the Dukes boys got themselves into now?
That's a guy who died this year, man. Freaking Roscoe died this year.
Yeah,
That's right.
I back in the day when C. Nelly and I moved in together, I had this whole cool thing. Exactly.
Shout out to Nelly.
That's going to be the Nelly's shout out from now on.
Everybody get down.
Get to the top there.
But I had my computer, my desktop computer, which I wasn't using anymore, hooked up to my our living room TV, so we could play music and stuff through it. And
Sweet baby Jesus.
one day I was actually watching a replay of Dukes of Hazzard. You remember how they used to always go to commercial right when they would jump? Like they'd take the car over this crazy cliff and they'd jump.
Right.
And
them boys
then-
are in trouble.
Yeah. Well, on my computer, I always used to create the screensaver with all these crazy quotes and captions that we heard. So it would just play throughout the day when we had people over. People would just ask, "What the hell does that mean?" And I was watching Dukes of Hazzard one day, and they and they the Duke boys jumped the car, and they went over a cliff, and it paused. And it goes to commercial, and that's when Waylon Jennings would always say something.
Yeah, I'd always narrate.
Yeah,
Right.
and that time he goes,
boys are being chased by the police again.
well, he goes, well, I don't know what's down there, but I sure hope it's deep and wet.
Hey, little quick trivia for you. This is a one quick trivia question. What was Boss Hogg's little sister's name?
I know his dog was named Lulu. I don't know.
Actually, no, it wasn't Lulu.
Lulu Bell.
That was his sister.
I thought that was a dog.
No, Lulu Bell.
Who was the dog?
I don't know. I know the Flash was the Roscoe's
Ross,
dog.
that's who I'm thinking.
Yeah,
of.
yeah,
Right.
yeah,
The
yeah,
sister was Lulu Bell. Real quick before we go to commercial break, on a serious note, I want to raise a glass to a legend. Now, last week we were fortunate enough to talk to the great Frank Reyes, purveyor of the Florida Wrestling Academy
Correct.
over in East Tampa,
Yeah,
Brandon.
333 Falkenberg Road, Suite A, 129.
We were talking about wrestling legends, and unfortunately we are now minus one of those legends, the great loss of Dusty Rhodes.
The Natural.
So
Dusty
salute
Rhodes.
to Dusty Rhodes and all that he's done, the impact that he made on the industry. Many folks within the community have reached out and
A lot of
expressed their
toasting.
sadness. But salute to Dusty and our condolences to the family.
Yeah, and then of course that big wrestling event was yesterday, and unfortunately I lost out on a ticket, so I was not.
Oh, you didn't get to
I
go?
was not able to go. I was very heartbroken
Oh,
about
man.
that, but I think I would have been even more heartbroken to find out that Dusty did pass away at that Thursday morning, of course, before the event. So all those guys, were kind of in a state of mourning. Frankie did a nice post.
A somber event, and hopefully Dusty, and I would assume he would be,
Ric Flair
is going to be part of that wall.
Oh yeah, absolutely. They'll definitely. I mean, that's definitely going to be an addition of epic proportions. I mean, Terry Funk was there, and they had one of the legendary hardcore matches, which I heard about via Mike Hartley's dad, actually, where he got stabbed in the arm with a frickin' metal shears, like literally. So it was wild. Those guys had quite the history, and hats off to him.
It's the Cranial Mission Show. All you Craniacs, stay with us. When we get back, another installment of the much adored, much followed Police Blotter. We'll be right back.
Well, Andrew, you've lived a pretty good life, it seems. Let's just take a look. No murder, no adultery, no stealing, not even as a child. Very impressive.
Well, thank you, sir.
In this new age, you have to be accountable in all facets of your life.
Well, what else is there?
It is time to check your browser history.
A dirty browser history may keep you out of heaven, but don't let it ruin your legacy here on Earth. At Legacy Lock, we believe your secrets are no one's business but yours, even in death. Our patented heart monitor notifies operators the moment of your passing within minutes, so Legacy Lock teams can swarm on your home and office, removing any embarrassing material. We don't like to divulge our trade secrets, but you'll rest assured we'll be in and out, and no one will know. You're going to die. That's just the way the cookie crumbles. Call Legacy Lock, and your cookies won't crumble you.
Hey, it's Harry Carey here. Have you lost a loved one, perhaps a beloved pet? Well, I can get you in touch with Automelda and Little Bubbles. Then all you gotta do is call 1-800-ASK-HARRY, and I got you covered. Your deceased loved ones will be nothing more than a phone call away with Harry Carey's Liaisons to the Dead. Call me now at 1-800-ASK-HARRY. Here's Charlie from Toronto.
Harry Carey got me in touch with my Uncle Abe, and I found out he was the Sausage King of Chicago.
Then there's John from Salt Lake City.
My Meemaw Agnes told me where to find a fortune she had hidden from a bank robbery she had done in the early 40s.
So call me now and get in touch with your loved ones at 1-800-ASK-HARRY. That's 1-800-ASK-HARY.